Hey, what's up guys, JayzTwoCents here, and I'm going to admit this is a video that should have come out a long time ago, but I thought that this product was going to be just sort of a basic product, and it turns out to be a very advanced product and one that did a lot of things I was wishing somebody would do, and it's been sitting in my closet all this time. Jay really is a dickhole. With its specifically tuned copper base and maintenance-free plug-and-play operation, the EVGA 980 Ti Hybrid offers ultra-fast gaming performance at the lowest temperatures possible. Click the link in the description for more details. Okay, so today we are specifically going to be looking at NZXT new Hue Plus Advanced PC Illumination Kit, and I've actually got two of these here. So immediately I want to give a huge thanks to the guys over at NZXT for sending these to me. After all, I did request that they send these because I wanted to do custom lighting in the 6700K build that I did, which was that, black S340 case, which was Razer themed. And I wanted to put these in there, but as you know, I wasn't able to use because of the fact that there is no USB 2.0 headers on the Z170 motherboard that I used in that build. So they went back in the closet and I stopped thinking about them. And I thought today, well, maybe we'll go ahead and check these out on the test bench. Holy shit, should I have checked these out sooner, because this is by far the coolest thing you can do to really make your PC pop. And a good pop, not like that electrical pop, pop smoke and then that smell of burnt money, basically. So they sent me two of these. I got one hooked up right now for demo. And as you can see here, there are 3 strips. Each strip has 10 LEDs. And you don't have to daisy chain them like this. You can actually use 2 channels. There are 2 channels on the control module that allow you to independently control what's happening with the lighting. So if you wanted to have different zones of your PC with different lighting, say like the basement of Skunkworks or something separated with like a mid plate, then you could have different lighting in there if you use both channels. Now each channel can control 40 LEDs. Now each one of these strips has 10 LEDs, so basic math and arithmetic will tell you that you can have 4 of these hooked up per channel. Now they only include 3 with the kit, so that means you could buy more of these if you wanted to do more lighting. But each one of these, as I said, have 10 LEDs, so as we can see right here, this is what the length of 30 of these LEDs looks like. It's a pretty good length. It actually measures about 3 feet. It's about a foot per each one of these strips. Now the control box itself actually communicates with the software, the CAM software that you use from NZXT via USB 2.0 header on your motherboard. Now one of the reasons why I didn't use this was because, like I said earlier, the motherboard I used didn't have a USB 2.0 header. Now if your motherboard doesn't, you could, now we're talking about header on the motherboard here. We're not talking about USB ports, we're talking about header. If your motherboard doesn't have that for whatever reason, you could technically use just a standard micro USB cable, because that's all it is a micro USB to a header plug, by running that through the back of your case, either through a grommet or removing one of like the PCI slot covers, run that to the back of your case, and then you could just plug it into the motherboard through a standard USB. So there are ways around it. It's just not the prettiest way to do it, but there are workarounds. But anyway, it also gets power through a 4-pin Molex plug, which I wish was a SATA plug, because more modern PCs are using more SATA power than 4-pin Molex, so it would have made it a lot more tidy, where you wouldn't have had to say maybe run 1 Molex cable off your PSU just to power this thing. Most PCs these days are not actually using 4-pin Molex, so one thing I would have liked to have seen a little bit different. But other than that, it gives you plenty of extension cables so that you can route these as far as you want. You can put extension cables between these if you wanted to extend one out somewhere else. So there's a lot of flexibility in the way that this gets put together. Now I'm going to admit, when I first saw this, I thought, okay, it's an RGB light strip. It's going to be able to do the basic stuff like your keyboards can do with breathing or color shift or reactive or whatever. Marquee's kind of neat. And it wasn't really all that exciting to me. I'm like, okay, change colors and it can do different modes. A lot of people don't care about that sort of stuff. But let me tell you what it can do that I think is very, very, very cool, is the fact that it can interact with events happening in your computer. What do I mean by that? This LED strip can change colors based on what you set for just about anything. So for instance, let's say you want the colors to change based on CPU temperature, so you can kind of keep track of your CPU temps visually. That would be kind of neat for a test bench, or even just a display CPU or a PC, or maybe you just want something different. You can tell the colors what to do based on what temperature your CPU is, or your GPU, or even the frames per second that you're getting on your computer. You can have the thing respond to different music. So you can have music playing and have the lights bouncing around in conjunction in sync with the music. I mean, this is really freaking awesome. Now, this is all happening because of NZXT's CAM software. Now, the CAM software is not just a control center for NZXT products, but it is going to tell you everything going on with your computer. It's designed to kind of be a replacement for all of those kind of broken pieces of software that haven't been updated over time, like a hardware monitor or PC Wizard or whatever. You can replace all those pieces of software with this CAM suite from NZXT, and you can see things like individual core load on your CPU, you can see core temperatures, you can see your voltages, your current multipliers, your current CPU speed, GPU temperatures, FPS. I mean, anything happening, RAM utilization, RAM speed, RAM timings, it all shows up here. And it's very easy to use, it's very, very simple. Now, unfortunately, it does really want you to create an online user account by using either a social media, like logging in through Facebook or something like that, or creating a standalone account, but that's not required. You can log in as a guest. You do lose out on some of the online features like CPU data logging. Like when the software is running, it's pretty much data logging what's happening with your CPU, and you can go back in the past and kind of look at what your PC was doing in the past versus now. If you're thinking, man, things are running hotter than I remember, you could like log in online and look at the history and see, oh yeah, my CPU is running hotter than it was. So there's a lot of cool things you could do, but you miss out on that by not creating an account. But not creating an account doesn't stop you from using the software, which obviously would have been a huge if they required you to make an account to use something you bought. All right, so enough chatting about it. Let's go ahead and do kind of a demo here of some of the lighting features. There's way too much to cover, and I'm not gonna do a full demonstration of the software because it really kind of deserves its own video. So you guys tell me if, based on what you've seen here, if you think you'd like a more in-depth video review of the software, we can do that as well, because this is something that you can use without the Hue. This is something you can install on your system, and then if you added NZXT products, then it is something that you could control your NZXT products as well, like fans and whatever else. These are definitely going in Skunkworks, especially since this is just going to make the system seem that much cooler. All right, let's get into the demo. Transition. I know the camera is not going to pick this up nearly as good as it looks in real life, especially when the camera lenses have a hard time telling the difference between whites and blues and things like that. But we are going to try anyway. So here's just a plain white with fixed. And what I do like is that it does pick up the subtle differences between some of the different colors here. Like you've got like a magenta color. So here's magenta, you've got pink. There's definitely a color difference between magenta and pink, although subtle. The LEDs do it perfectly. Here's like more of a lavender color. Here is purple, which is not showing up too well on camera. Damn it. But anyway, here's like a light blue. Here's a green, and you can also change, based on the infinite color range or spectrum here, whatever colors you want. But that you get the idea there. So breathing is pretty basic. You can choose the colors that you want. Add another color. Let's make that one. Let's say breathe purple. So now it's going to breathe between blue and like a purple color. You can choose how fast it does it. Let's make it fastest. And it's going to be like super fast. So there's the colors there. You can add as many of those colors as you want. Marquee is really neat. For instance, you can see here you just have this blue light that's kind of going around. You got this comet button here, which I don't know if you can tell, the LEDs that are following behind it aren't lit as brightly, so it kind of looks like a comet trail. If you uncheck that, then it's just the LEDs at its brightest as they go by. I like the comet trail, it looks kind of neat. If it was going to be a comet, it would have to be more of a comedy color. Comedy? I don't know if that makes any sense. So there we go, there's our comet. Make it red. Oh, that's more of a purple, huh? Do red over here. So you can pick any colors you want. Make it really dark even. So there's red. I think that marquee looks neat. Here's a covering marquee here where you have two colors. So for instance, you can see here we have blue being covered up by green. So you can make as many colors go by as you want. Let's make this now, let's make it red. So you got blue being covered by green, being covered by red. You add as many of those as you want. Pulse, pretty obvious. It's just gonna pop back up and then go down and pop back up, or you can add another color. So let's have it pulse red and yellow. pop into yellow, pop into red, whatever you want. Spectrum wave, this is kind of like demo mode of sort of, you know, everything you see on the keyboards everyone does. You know, the keyboard demonstrations are always rainbowy, make it go the other way if you want. So if you were to put these around your case, they could be doing, you know, circles around your case. Alternating is kind of neat. We can make this Christmassy if we change that blue to green. Bam, so there's our Christmas colors right there. But here's the other thing, is you've got smart here. So we've got CPU temperature, right? So if we save that, right now the colors are going to be based on our CPU temps. And if I start something up like Ada64 and then do a stress test here, you can see the colors will change based on the stress test. And it's also going to change based on where we have it set on the actual scale. So you can change the colors here. We've got blue is between 20, 30, and 40C. Purple is between 50, 60, and 70, and then 80, 90, and 100 are red. But let's say we want red to represent full load. We can just move these up, move the red up, or click on it, change it, whatever we want. So now they're red because we're under load. And I changed those colors, so anything between 50 and 70C shows up as red. Now if I was to stop the test, you'll see we'll come back down to the blue pretty quickly. And what's cool is it's not just going to switch between these colors directly. As you saw when I started it up and when I stopped it, it did do an actual blend of the colors. So what's blue plus red is purple. See how we're going to purple? So we know we're in between those ranges. FPS mode, this is only going to matter if it can communicate with your GPU. I'm finding that the NZXT software is not communicating with my Fury X very well, so it wasn't making any changes based on GPU. So that's something worth keeping in mind. You've got audio here. So we put it on sync mode. There's level, sync, and gain. So like for instance, if I put on gain, and then I start, let's say, my YouTube channel here.
But he does it with your pen.
That's kind of neat, right?
What's going on, all you GPU addicts? You know that's who's watching this video.
Now if we change it to a different mode, like let's say sync.
You guys have been asking me on Twitter and Facebook.
So that means all of the individual strips on here are doing the same thing, where if we have it just by gain, then all of them make one big meter, as you can see. So you can customize that. So there you go, guys. That's basically the NZXT Hue Advanced PC Illumination. I think if you're looking for a way to make your system kind of unique and kind of control something custom with the lighting and know that no matter what, you have the right lights for the job, no matter what you want to do, this is definitely a kit worth taking a look at. So if you're looking for something custom when it comes to lighting in your computer, this is definitely like the only place you should look. NZXT had the original Hue, but that didn't do anything smart or custom like this, where all you could do by the use of RGB dials on the front of like a 5 1/4 bay, slot, was actually change the color of the lights, and that was it. It didn't react to sound. You couldn't make it react to temperatures or anything like that. So if you're looking for something cool and unique, this is definitely the only place you should look, in my opinion. Tell me what you guys are using when it comes to lights. You guys have asked me for a lot of lighting tutorials. Do you want to see more videos like this? Like I said, these are going into Skunkworks, and I think they are going to definitely fulfill the purpose that I needed when it comes to custom lighting in my system. Anyway, guys, time to get out of here. Tell me what you use for lights, and tell me what you want to see when it comes to custom PC modding in the future when it comes to my channel, and I'll do the best I can to bring you guys those videos that you think would be interesting. Anyway, time to get out of here. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.